One of the easiest ways for me to tell when somebody is struggling with their sense of agency is when I see them fall into a state of rebellion when they could simply choose rejection. So like as a full-grown adult, let's say you're catching up with your mom and you're like, yeah, I was thinking about picking up a second job, maybe bartending over here at yada yada spot. And your mom contributing to the conversation is like, oh, are you sure this is such a good idea? Why don't you try something over here instead, or whatever the case is. And at a moment where you could have chosen rejection, which would sound something like, yeah, I already made up my mind. I feel good about this decision. I was just letting you know. Just giving you a little life update. You sort of fall into this back and forth where now you're trying to change your mom's mind and prove that your decision is a sound one to make. That's not rejection, that's rebellion. And I think a lot of the time we think that we're rejecting something, but we're actually rebelling against something. The energy of rejection and the energy of rebellion send two very different messages. The energy of rejection says, this is my choice, I own my choice, I believe this is my choice, I'm gonna make my choice. I feel empowered in making my own choices. So I feel empowered in my sense of agency. I can make this choice, I'm confident in that. The energy of rebellion says, I need your permission before I can make this choice. I need your approval before I can make this choice. We can see this show up not just with parents though. We could be full-grown adults. We can see it show up with our partners. We can see it show up with our friends. It shows up a lot in work situations where it's not really necessary. Don't get me wrong, it's baked into the culture of a lot of workplaces, but we can still reject that. We can say, yeah, no, I'm not participating in whatever that is. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm not gonna rebel against you and be like, but my availability says but it's just no. It's just, I'm making my choice. I think a couple things that I would do if you notice yourself struggling with this, you notice yourself rebelling in moments when you could just be rejecting, is number one, to practice what it feels like to simply reject something. And number two, practice noticing what happens after you exercise that thing. A lot of the time, maybe a surprising amount of the time, you'll notice that those people weren't really trying to control you. You're still safe, you're still loved, you're just making your own choices because that's what adults do.